Distance. Yeah.
Ticino's a great place to get pizza.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Business First Wednesday for December. This is Email Marketing 101. I'm Melissa from the Business Insight Center here at the Rochester Central Library. Thank you all for joining us today, all the way from Waterloo. Please remember to mute your microphones and enter any questions into the chat. We'll be answering questions throughout. This presentation is being recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube. If you've registered for an event, you'll receive an email um, with the recording. And will you be sending the slides, Rachel?
Yeah, I can send them.
Yes, and a copy of all the slides.
Sure.
Um, just a reminder that all services of the Business Insight Center here at the library is free and available by appointment only. Um, and I would now like to introduce you to Mohammed from the SBDC.
Well, thank you so much, Melissa. Hi, everyone. Good morning. This is Fatin from the SBDC. I would like to start by giving a brief introduction about the SBDC. Then I would like to introduce our guest speaker for the day. The SBDC stands for the Small Business Development Center. We are a federally and state-funded organization that supports entrepreneurs and small business owners. And we provide no cost, one-on-one confidential business consultation, and we help you in every stage of your business journey. From the very beginning, if you have a business idea and you don't know where to start, you can come to us and we will guide you along the process. And if you're already an experienced business owner that's looking for a business expansion, a financing, funding, we work with you. We work with our lending partners to help you realize your dreams. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce you today to Rachel Johnson, who's the founder of Rachel Johnson Creative LLC. Rachel is a conversion copywriter and messaging strategist who helps coaches, consultants, and service providers clarify their brand voices and attract perfect fit clients through strategic website copy and email marketing. With experience writing for dozens of brands, Rachel combines research-backed strategy with personality-packed messaging to turn good enough words into magnetic ones that convert with ease. So, Rachel, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Cool. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Rachel Johnson. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here and just gotta get it in presenter mode. I want to make sure everyone can see that. Everyone see the first Wednesday? Give me a thumbs up. I can see some of y'all videos. Awesome. I love seeing the videos. It's nice to present to faces. I understand if you can't have your screen on, but it is nice to see the videos. So appreciate that. So hi everyone. I'm Rachel Johnson. Thank you so much to the Finger Lakes, and Small Business Development Center for having me. So this is called Stop Overthinking, Start Sending, Email Marketing 101. Just really quick background about me. As Fatin said, I do a lot of personality-driven copy, research-backed data, and over the last 3 years, I've written for nearly 50 brands, which included writing full websites, writing sales pages, and of course, emails. And of course, also being in the copywriter space, I was on the email list of several prominent copywriters who would say regularly to me, start your email list. The money is in the list. Build your connections. And I felt a bit like a hypocrite because I did not have an email list, mainly because I was really overwhelmed at the thought of it. And I had a lot of, preconceived notions and some mindset blocks. And I am an overthinker, perfectionist type person. And so I held off on starting my email list for about 2 years. And then once I started, I went, oh yeah, this is why people do it. So this presentation today is to give you a sense of to kind of overcome some of those mindset blocks if you have them. If you already have an email list, perhaps you've ghosted it for a while, you've disappeared, you haven't sent anything in a while. I'm going to give you some things to think about to kind of get back in there and get started as even before 2026. I say if you have an email list and you haven't sent one in a while, I'm hoping by the end of today you'll send something out. Anyway, so yeah, I felt just really overwhelmed. Text setup automations, welcome sequences, segmentation, and I just really wanted to write So like I said, eventually I'm writing for all these businesses, and a couple of these here, I'd send out one email and they would get thousands of dollars from that one email. And I'm like, okay, I really need to get in on this. So started to send you know emails, and now I'm here convincing other people to get their email list going too, because it's something that uh, we say we want to do and we hold it off, but there's a really good case for it here. And actually, before I start jumping right in, who here does have an email list? I just want to get a little. And I don't know if I can see the chat right now. I don't think I can. Or maybe you could do a raise hand. Thanks, Amy. Amy's raised her hand. There's the chat. Um, have one, but don't send emails. Yeah. And then I guess the next question is I can get an idea who does not have an email list and is here to just learn about how to start one. A few people. Okay, cool. So I want to go ahead and just give you the case for an email list. And here are my Canva stock photo lawyer colleagues intimidating you into restarting one or starting one, because the case for an email is a really, really good one. Second question, how many of you have a social media account or use social media to advertise your business? Again, you can raise your hand, or I have access to the chat now, so I can see if you just write yes. Yeah, go ahead and be active in that chat. I love an active chat. And I can see it. I'm looking at it over here. Um, Amy, I have a list. Every time I get a new subscriber, my guilt about not sending anything grows. Yeah. Yeah. And so a lot of you have social media accounts, but not perhaps maybe not an email list. So social media is great. I think it's a great way to keep yourself visible, stay top of mind. However, as we all know, the algorithm does control who sees your post. And if you're not already fully engaged, have a lot of followers, if you're not already posting a lot regularly, it can be hard to grow or get leads and get business on social media. With email, you have a direct line to your audience. There is no algorithm middleman. And the ROI is that email is consistently outperforming social with, if it's done correctly, it's $36 to $40 for every $1 that you spend. So, that's one thing. And the other one is if people are still checking their inbox daily. I mean, another question for y'all. How many of you checked your email within the first 2 hours of waking up this morning? Yeah, I don't want to tell you how soon after I wake up I check my email, but I know I'm not the only one. Within 3 hours or 3 minutes, Jamie. 3 hours, yeah, good. Yeah, so email is something that stays top of mind, and it's something that we check regularly, and it's a great way to have a direct line um, to your customers. So, oh, thanks for whoever just put out the email list poll. Wonderful. So I do want to talk a little bit about, I'm just do a little digging here on social media. Not a ton, because I think social media is important. There's a place for it. And if you have the capacity to do it, or if your target audience mainly lives on Instagram or Facebook, or you have a good social media strategy, I think it's a great thing to have. But Gary V, who here knows of Gary V? He's a marketer. He has a 2026 trend prediction, and instead of me saying it, I just want to go ahead and share this with you all. Can you see Gary V on the screen? This is his 2026
Number two biggest trend in 2026.
trend prediction. Oh, could everyone see that okay?
Number two biggest trend in 20.
Okay, cool. Here we go.
26, the unplugging of Gen Alpha, which is an indicator to the unplugging of every generation. Starting in 2026, you'll see more businesses like this. I just talked about a business where you get paid to walk with people, like literally walk with them. I believe what you'll see, and you're already seeing it, I think experiential, music festivals, going outside, going to events, going out and putting the phone away. Private clubs that make you put the phone in a locker before you walk in. The forcing of the deplug is now starting to already happen. And more importantly, the choosing to deplug is happening. More kids want to take a hike on a Saturday. And I think you'll see it more and more. But I think someone like myself and many in the room right now with me as I film this will actually just start to do it in the same way we just started to exercise more. Like we're just all going to be like, you know what? I need 7 hours that I allocated in 2023 to a phone, laying in bed, doom scrolling. I need to allocate that to go out and do things with no phone.
So I share that because all of that means that people young and old, if the prediction is true, which I see a trend, is that people are going to spend less time on their phones, like you said, which means less time on social media, which means less time and eyes on your social media posts that may or may not already not be getting a lot of eyes on there to begin with. So what I am going to drill into your head today, or going to try to, is to understand why email matters more than ever in, I say 2025, but we're almost done with this, in 2026, and why you also don't want to rely just on ChatGPT to write them. How to get past the 3 most common roadblocks of sending emails, and how to get started or restart if you've been ghosting or not sending emails to your list. Once again, yeah, I don't know why I have this on here, but yeah, I'm Rachel Johnson, Rachel Johnson Creative. And like I said before, just get active in the chat. If you have a thought, a question, type it in the chat and send it, because chances are someone else has a similar thought. And as a former music teacher, I would say this to my students, and I will say it to all of you too. There are absolutely 0 stupid questions, because if you're thinking about it, someone else is too. And that person who was afraid to say it will be very grateful that you decided to go ahead and ask that question. So at any point, feel free to ask questions. And Melissa or Fatine, if you want to monitor the chat, and as we mentioned before, let me know. I'll try to keep in touch as well. And yes, David, I will share my contact info at the end. Thank you for asking. Let's see. First question I have. So yeah, this is where I want you to get active in the chat. Is what comes to mind when you think of email marketing? I want to get a vibe here of the room. It's just an open-ended question for you, because I'm curious if you have positive or negative connotations with it. Maybe there's a particular word or phrase that comes to mind, or certain feelings that come up about it. This is the other teacher rule, is wait 10 seconds, even though it's really hard because it's like awkward, but
Uh,
I see you.
hold on, a whole bunch all at the same time.
Oh, I got him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thoughts on mail listings versus MailChimp. Newsletters cluttering up my inbox. Spam, too many to keep up with. Spam funnels or stuff I love to read, depending on the sender. Spam seems to be a big one.
Yeah.
Unsubscribe daily. Updates. Just another part of the mix in connecting.
Sure.
Fine balance between bothering people and spamming and being useful. Where is this boundary?
Oh, okay. I love this. I'm getting goosebumps because this presentation. I'm so glad you're all here because this is going to help you so much. I've got lots of thoughts about this, all ready to go for you in black and white here on the presentation. So yeah, spam is a big one. Okay, we are going to address that today. So let's keep going so we make sure we have time. Before I dive into the fears and objections that a lot of people have about email marketing, I do want to talk about the 3 biggest advantages to having a consistent email list and to starting one for your business. I know I talked a little bit about the case and social media versus email, but the 3 big advantages to owning a membership are these 3 things. three big advantages to owning an email list are the three things. You have an ownership, connection, and conversion. So with an email list, and I'll talk a little bit more about what an email list is because that can get confusing too. But when you have an email list, you own it. It's not rented land like Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. It's not a place where Mark Zuckerberg can deactivate your account if he doesn't like something you're saying. You own that list, and no matter if you're on MailChimp, you're on Kit, you're on Flowdesk, whatever email service provider you are using, you can take that list and move it to a different email service provider. You always have that list with you. The second thing, connection. Emails feel personal, and instead of landing in a feed where people are scrolling in bed and just want to maybe entertained, or they're just got enraged by some political post that they saw, and then all of a sudden they see something about your business, they're not in that mindset, right? They're not in a frame of mind to want to maybe read something from you or look at something so social media is more about just lightly connecting. People do sell on social media. Obviously, there's Facebook ads and Instagram ads, and that's a whole other topic for another day. But with emails, you can really make it feel personal, and you're landing in someone's feed where people are, for the most part, being intentional about taking their time to read their emails in their inbox. And we'll talk about this in a moment. But when people opt in to get your emails, that means they want to hear from you, right? So they're not just scrolling. They didn't just mindlessly follow you for some reason or as a favor. They want to get your emails. So you're building that connection with them. You're staying top of mind. And then the last one is the conversion. So emails drive more consistent sales than almost any other channel. It's a great way to make sales. I call it soft selling. I don't like to be pushy or salesy or feel icky about selling. It's more of an invitation, right? Here's something I have, and if you want it, great. If not, that's fine. You saved yourself some money. And I have trainings about that too. But today like I said, we're going to keep talking about email, and let's talk about what an email list is. So it's a collection of email addresses from people who have opted in to hear from you via email. Some people get confused. They think, oh, an email list is, the people in my contact form or in my Gmails, or maybe it's all the emails I got from business cards, and I'm just going to use those emails and put them in a special contact list on my Gmail or Outlook and send people that. But that is not an email list. Those are contacts. Those are different. So I want to give you an example of some opt-in lists. And we're going to talk a little bit about consent-based marketing here in a second, so that way you don't feel spammy when you are sending emails. So these are 4 personal examples I have of getting people on my list. The first one is on my website. So somebody asked about my contact information. If you go to rj-creative.com, you can learn more about me and my business. But at the very bottom, I should actually have it at the top, but I have it at the bottom. I have a opt-in, so people can put in their first name, their email address, and hit subscribe if this description sounds appealing to them. Now, this is where we talk about not feeling spammy, right? If somebody went to my website, plugged in their information, they want to hear from me. And if I'm not sending them emails once in a while, I'm really being kind of rude, right? Maybe not intentionally, but they want to hear from me. So it's my part then to send them, my Real Deal Digest or my newsletter every other week. And if I don't, then it becomes inconsistent, and you want to be consistent. Another way to get people to opt in, this is my landing page for my newsletter. So this is I put this on social media posts. It's in a few, I just drop it usually if I don't want to send people to my website. I have a landing page. This one is very, it resonates with the millennials really well. And so people will just put in their name, address, and they join in. Another way to get people to opt in is to have what's called a lead magnet. So this is a lead magnet that was pretty popular that I have, and it's just 40 plug-and-play alternative phrases to some of the most overused ChatGPT isms of 2025. And so if people want that, they can put that in, their information in. So these are all just consent-based ways of people putting the information, they get the thing they want, and I'm not, it would be, you know, not strategic of me to not give them that information, right? So a couple terminology here, just to review. We have the ESP, email service provider, like MailChimp, Kit is what I use. There's Flowdesk, there's MailerLite, lots of versions. There's free versions for all of these, so you can sign up today and play around with it and get the free version. And then, of course, there's paid versions of these too. Then you have your email list. Those are what you've collected with consent, either verbally or through an opt-in page or through some sort of link where people gave you their information. Then there's the opt-in page, which I just shared, the short landing page, which might just have a form or email. And then there's the landing page. And those are sort of interchangeable terms there, but that's where they land onto a page and they decide if they want to join your list or buy your thing or get the free resource that you have. And then once they get on that list, they're always welcome to unsubscribe. They don't have to stay. In fact, I encourage people to unsubscribe if they realize that my writing style and my way of doing business is not for them, because I want to have an engaged email list. I don't want to have half my email list not opening up my emails, because that changes deliverability, which I'll talk about in a bit. Okay, so I just talked a lot. Is there anyone that we already did this part. Did anyone have any other questions before we go on to the 4 overwhelm things here? Oh, yes, Benjamin.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm just curious to know, how will you increase conversions rates?
With emails?
Yes.
Yeah, so great question. It's probably a question for another training, but I so a lot of emailing and nowadays, especially with like I don't know if anyone's been hearing this, but we're in a trust recession, meaning if you sell online or you're just, in the online space, it's harder to get people to trust you know, you and your business these days. And so in order to build that trust, that's why I like email, because it provides connection. And I have in fact, I have something at the end here. It's called a welcome sequence series. The first 5 emails to send to your subscribers. It's a way to build that trust, which can then increase conversions later on when you are ready to sell to them or make offers to them. So yeah, it's a really strategic piece into that's really probably for another training that I won't be able to get into today, because this one's more about just overcoming those mindset blocks or roadblocks you might have about writing emails or starting an email list. But as far as the conversions, yeah, there's a strategy piece, there's copy, there's certain words you want to use. There's like friction words, like if you were to say, sorry, a little side note here, because you asked, call to action buttons, right? That you might have in an email list. So when I send an email to my first subscriber, I don't sell anything to them right away. I just try to build that trust. And then over time, when I have something to offer, or I notice that they're interested in certain things, and what's called tagging, I can tag them. So if they click on something, I can put them in a segment, and then I know they're interested in ABC. And so I can send an offer about ABC to the people who said they were interested in ABC, and then that makes it easier to one, have less unsubscribes, and two, segment your email towards a targeted audience. Does that make sense? I know that's a lot of information.
Yes, that makes sense. Thank you so much. And I have
You're
a
welcome.
follow-up question.
Okay, yeah,
Just
and we
so
can. What's that?
I wanted to know, will you include like clients of more than 20 years of activities in your email list, or is it not a great idea?
Well, this is where I think consent-based marketing is great, because you can offer them to be on your email list, right? And decide, and what you could also do is, if they decide to be on your email list, you could segment, meaning you could put people who have been clients 20 plus years who might have different needs, different interests, they want different things from you. You could put them on one email list and then the others on a different email list so they can be separated.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we can always talk later more, but if you ever want to get on a one-on-one chat and just chat, pick my brain, feel free. I'll put the information later. Okay, cool. People are over here. Awesome. Answering my question already. Yeah. What stops you from starting a list? Is it overwhelm? Where do I even start? Is it tiny list shame? Like, what's the point of emailing 10 people? Is it self-doubt? A lot of you earlier said you don't want to be spammy or salesy, so go ahead and put the number in. 'Cause I'm just curious to know. I'll focus more on what the majority of people are feeling, for the sake of time. One in three, one in four. Christine, I feel you. She said, I feel like even though I have opt-in lists, it is often like throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. And sometimes, to be honest, yes, there is strategy, but also a lot of marketing and email marketing is experimenting, right? And it's being okay with not always knowing if something's going to work right away. You have to try it. If it didn't work, then try something else. Most business owners who've been around for a long time know that a successful business is made up of many failures, right? Recently started my irons in the fire beginning. 1, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1 and 3. Okay, cool. So we're at the overwhelmed stage, which means you've all come to the right place because this presentation is called, what did I call it? Stop being overwhelmed. Stop overthinking, start sending. So, okay, cool. So let's talk about the overwhelm part. So I was there just a year ago. I was writing emails for a few years for other people, and I did not want to start my list. It feels exhausting. And so I want you to reframe it if you're feeling that way, is just to keep it really, really simple. Just get in the habit, decide one mini tiny task you can do. There's a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm sure many of you have heard of it. Very popular book. There's another one, though, less known, called Tiny Habits by BJ.
Looks like we have some technical difficulties. Our presenter vanished.
I'm back.
Let's see if she comes back. She's back.
Okay, so that was a me thing, not a you thing. Okay. All right. Let me go back. I know I just disappeared. I'm like, where do y'all go? I don't know what that was about. Sorry. What did you last hear me say?
We're talking about keeping it simple
Yeah.
Okay.
and tiny habits, yeah.
Thank you, Katie. Yeah. Keeping it simple. Yeah, tiny habits. And I forget the author's name, but anyway, it's a little side note there. But keeping it simple, getting into the habit. So you don't need to build it all at once. You don't need to have 100 subscribers to start. In fact, I started with, I think, 7. All I did was just tell the people in my circle about it who I thought would appreciate my newsletter. And I just started to send emails, and it felt a little silly, but yeah, it just slowly grew over time. And you just have to start, right? You just have to start somewhere, and a year later, you'll be so glad you did. So step 1, if you haven't started yet, you don't know where to begin, I'll tell you what to do. Sometimes it's nicest to have someone tell you what to do, right? So sign up for an ESP or an email service provider. They are getting more expensive. I will say, like, they all just raised their prices last month. It's ridiculous, but there are free options where you can start for free, don't have to invest in anything, and you can just experiment and just sign up, right? That's it. Sign up. And when you do sign up, of course, all of these ESPs, they're really good about welcome sequences. So they're going to send you reminders, right? Or give you tasks to do. So I use Kit. That's my personal one. I can I can actually give you a link, affiliate link if you want later. Flowdesk is popular for like photographers, e-commerce. MailerLite has a pretty good free version, and MailChimp, I actually don't know that many people who use MailChimp these days, but that's probably because of the industry I'm in. A lot of people in my industry use Kit, but those are a few options. So you can sign up for one of those. And then step 2 is get your first subscriber. That's it. And when you're writing to people, here's the other thing I want you to think about. So copywriting rule 101, and the copywriters in the room will know this. Number one rule is to write to one person. Because when you write to many people and you try to write to everybody, you write to no one. And so it's a really good conversion trick. And Benjamin talked about how do you get people to convert. When you're writing a sales page, your website, an email, write to one person. And so if you get your first subscriber, well, easy. You have one person to write to, and you can start working that muscle right away. All right. So second one was the tiny list shame. So like, why bother emailing if I have one person, 10 person, 50 doesn't even feel like a lot. Jamie asked how we get the first subscriber. That is also another training I have. So if I can come back, I know, because it's like there's so much. I'll give you a quick tip though, Jamie. First subscriber, I would say, so how I got my first subscriber was gosh, I can't remember exactly, but a few quick ways. You could mention it on your LinkedIn. So if you have a LinkedIn, say I'm starting an email list. It's for this type of person. And if you're interested in XYZ, the thing that you offer, the thing that you do, the thing you have expertise in, feel free to sign up, and then you can put the page on there. So you could do a social media post. You could email a bunch of people on your Gmail list and say, I'm starting an email list, and give them the opt-in information, right, to join. So there's a few options for you. So the reframe I want you to have is if you're like, okay, I only have a few people, I want you to imagine you're sitting at a table with like 10 people who chose to hear from you, who knocked on your door, came in and sat down, and they're just sitting there waiting. That's powerful, right? Getting 10 people who want to listen to you. Imagine 10 people in a room at a dining room table around you. That's actually a lot of people when we think about it, right? And I think in business sometimes we think, well, that's not enough people. That's plenty. And you don't need to build it all at once. Just the small steps really do matter. And if you don't start, you won't get one. You're not going to get those first 100, 500,000, whatever your goals are, to get it. So, but I don't think a lot of people had the tiny list shame. So let's keep moving on here. To the big one. What do I even say? So a lot of fears and mindset blocks we have, or we're like, well, everything's already been said. Why me? And I already follow a lot of people on social media, or I'm on these email lists that people provide really great information. So like, what else do I have to offer? How can I add to that? But I want to encourage you that your voice, your stories, your lens, your experience, your life, it's all unique. You're the only one who's experienced your business, your life, your way. And so when you think of when you own your expertise, you bring in your personality, then it becomes easier. And the other component, and again, I have another training for this as well, a third training about anchoring your content to messaging pillars. So those are those things that you want to share with people, that show your expertise, that get people to buy from you. And it really kind of mixes like your passions that are in your business with your clients' passions and bringing that together. So really quick here, because this was a big one. I think this was number 3 was mentioned a few times. So I want to talk about like, what do you say? So the first thing to do when you're writing an email is just to find clarity. Just know the purpose of the email you're going to write, and ask yourself, what job is this email supposed to do? One of the mistakes a lot of people have when they first start out is they just want to share everything, or they create it like a newsletter where they're like, I have this event and this thing and this offer and I do this and that, and it's overwhelming to the reader. So just what is the one job that the email is supposed to do? So I have a few options here. Is it to nurture? This is a nurture or welcome sequence, or I mentioned it earlier, it's 3 to 5 emails that slowly introduce who you are, what you do, how you serve, your clients, the connection. Actually, wait, let me go back to the nurture. Yeah, going back to the nurture, because I mentioned earlier, we're in this trust recession. And so if you are an online service provider specifically, it can be really hard to get people to trust you and buy from you, and they need to trust from you before they buy from you. And so doing that nurture sequence at the beginning is it's really important just to make that connection. And stories, personal moments, humanizing your brand, all those kind of things. Even if you're a faceless brand, even if your business isn't a personal brand, doesn't have a face to it, those origin stories are important. Education, teach something that builds authority. I have an entire educational series called 12 Days of Increasing Your Sales. It's 12 emails that people get every other day with tiny little tweaks and tips you can use to write your copy. And that just builds that trust in me, right? Like, oh, Rachel knows what she's talking about. Um, Engagement, so just starting conversations, getting replies, collecting information that helps you help them, sending out audience surveys. And then conversion, guiding your reader to take action. I know I just said keep everything simple, so I don't mean to overwhelm you with all this. I'm just trying to give you ideas of things that you can use when it is ready to start your email list, that you can start playing with these ideas. So, to give you a moment here, I want to just take 1 minute. You can write it in the chat, you can write it on a notebook, you can open up a Google Doc. I would love for you to take a minute to write down 3 topics that you could talk about, rant about, share with a potential subscriber list that they would be interested in. Something that would make them connect with you or your company and make them just think like, they really know their stuff. So I'm going to zip my lips and I'll give you a couple minutes to think, and I'll also pull up here some examples in case you just need some, get your gears churning here. And I'm going to get water, so I will be right back. I'm not leaving. Okay, about 10 more seconds. I know it's like really short, but I have so much more to share. Anyone wants to write down some ideas they had in the chat, feel free. Because sometimes that's all we need is just one idea to go, oh, okay, I do have things I can share. I love it. Amy, I love it. Mad. I love Mad Men. So Amy, who's a copywriter like me, had how marketing shows up in TV shows versus reality. Yeah, I love that. That's like so fun, right? Like that's just a fun read, at least for me. How some people read skimmers. Yeah. Tips about how to clean out your inbox. Ben has upcoming events and community spotlight. Christine, doctor appointments are overwhelming. Christine, can you tell me more about what your business is? I'm just curious to know how it relates.
Sure, thanks. So basically, I've been a physician for 30 years in our community here in
Okay.
Rochester. And so I left the big business and I went to form my own solo business. I go into
Okay.
medical appointments with older adults or those who need support. I advocate for them as I sit side by side with them on their journey. And then I summarize what happened in the medical appointment into an easy to read document I send to them and their remote family. So everyone stays on the same page and empowered to move forward in their healthcare.
Amazing. And
Thank you.
that's so much knowledge right there for you to drip out over like 6 emails, you know? I
Oh,
mean,
really? Oh,
oh
wow,
yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I really think so. And that's I think when we get so close, when we get so like inside of our own business and inside our own heads, it's so easy to think like, oh, I don't have anything to share, or oh, that's not going to cover a lot of emails. But really, people want, especially right now in today's world of distraction and information overwhelm, like we just want little bits of information sent to us. Like too
Okay.
much is overwhelming. So that, yeah, all that you shared, like I already am like, oh, there's like 5 email ideas right there,
Wow.
in my brain anyway, the way it's
Oh,
going.
wow. You have a great brain.
It's just like literally all I do. That's my job, right? So,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, cool. Thanks for sharing.
Sure.
Um, yeah. So we have tips to help community, feral cat population. Oh, yeah, character. Yeah, you guys have so many great ideas. So, yeah, I hope that just gets you excited, gets you thinking about like, and I'm getting goosebumps again, which means I know this is good stuff. Like we all have so much to share and we think like one we think like I said before, oh, everyone knows what we already know, or we're just so close to our own business, right? So just keep in mind that people want to know the information that you have inside of your head, and sometimes the only way to get it to them is going to be through an email. So anyway, all right, let's keep moving on. So I want to honor everybody's time. So the last one, because I definitely want to get to this, that fear of feeling spammy. Um, how many, if someone could just like, I guess in the chat, just tell me if this is something that resonates with you or a reason why you didn't want to start. You could just write yes or why, or write the number 4 in the chat. Is this something that is stopped you from sending emails? I don't want to bother people. I don't want to feel spammy. I don't want to just go and I just don't want to get deleted. Or some people even go, I don't want to get unsubscribers. I don't want to send an email list and then people are unsubscribing. Um, yeah, it can be um, we can get stuck in our heads with it. So the reframe is, like I said before, if they signed up, they invited you in or to their inbox, and that's consent. So building trust with permission-based marketing, this is so important. I've gotten emails from people and I'm like, I didn't sign up for this list. What? And that just starts to erode the trust a bit when that happens. So make sure that you have a proper way of having people opt in versus you adding them. I do add some people. Actually, this is another idea. Jamie, you were wondering about your first subscriber. Another way to get people to subscribe is this is more for like service-based businesses who do one-on-ones. If you have like a coffee chat or you have a strategy call with someone and there's like a form like on your Calendly link or something like that. And if you have a form to fill out, you could add at the bottom, would you like to be added to my email list? And if they say yes, you can manually add them. If they say no, then obviously you don't. But that's another way to add people. And so yeah, email's not spam. You're providing a service to people. I also like to think of the analogy of like let's go to yesterday's Rochester weather, right? Like every the weather was real garbage outside. Now, if someone were freezing cold outside and they knocked on your door and they're like, I have nowhere to go, can you let me in? And they don't seem like a psycho, you're gonna let them in, right? You have something that they want, warmth, shelter, maybe some food, before they go back on their merry way. So you're not bothering them. They want to be let in. They're asking for that service. Yeah, make it relevant and feel shy and don't want to bother people is what someone said. And yeah, you're not bothering them if they're asking for your information, which it can take some time to get used to. But I want you to now think about to further this point, what makes you open up some emails that you get and ignore others or delete others or unsubscribe from others? Go ahead and put that in the chat, or if you want to just go off mute and share, I'm fine with that as well. But I think it's important to observe this because it can help inform you of how you want to approach email marketing. So David says subject line referral from Joe Smith. So that's something you are wanting, right? Is referral. So that's going to make you open overall subject lines. Yes. If they've given me value before, I ignore those that are not relevant to my goals. Click on those that will help me reach my goals. Trust and value. Yeah, so subject line's a big one. Again, I have a training on that. And yeah, so subject line's the big one. So now I want to go into more the subject line. What subject lines make you want to open up the emails? Or if you want to right now, actually, this is a good, well, actually, no, we're short on time. I was going to say, go into your email inbox right now and just observe and look at what subject lines made you want to open and why is that? Because that can help inform you how to write your own subject lines later, but we actually don't have time for that. We have to keep moving. But yeah, a lot of it comes down to that subject line, trust, providing the value. And so that's why it's important to have subscribers that are engaged and that want to be on your list because they're the ones who are going to be opening, and you want to be strategic about what you're sending in the content. So we talked about this already. Here's another great way to avoid being spammy. I did this for a membership I was running back in the summer called Copy Cabana. And so it was a series of 6 or 7 emails, but I didn't want to bother people who didn't want the email. So what I did was put at the top a opt-out option. So you can see here, I write at the very top before we even get into the email, it says, this email is to inform you of an affordable membership I created out of a need I've been seeing among solopreneurs. If you don't think it's for you, you can click here to skip the rest of these emails, and I'll see you later inside my regular newsletter. And so this gives people the option to opt out of this particular sequence so they no longer receive the emails about the promotion or sale that I'm doing, but they can still stay on my list and get the other relevant information for them. So it's a really nice way to avoid the spam. And then, of course, getting fan mail is always great. And so, I get emails like this and I don't feel like I'm being spammy. So it's almost like the positive reinforcement, right? Once you start to do it and you realize people like it, you want to do it more. And when you don't send it, your emails, you're depriving people of good information or entertainment, or you're depriving yourself of feeling good, getting email responses like this. So somebody asked earlier about contact information. I will show that in a little bit, but talking about landing pages, one of them I showed earlier. If you want to take out your phone, scan that QR code. This is my landing page that many people seem to like. And if someone wants to even, actually, I'll put the landing page also in the chat too if you want to do it that way. And then I'm going to go over a few reframes and talk about, give you my contact info. And we'll wrap up here. So, reframe with email. The first part, not being spammy. You're not knocking on someone's door. They already let you in by subscribing to your list. And as long as you have those consent-based forms, those opt-in forms, whether it's on your website, you can also put it at the bottom of your email signature. You could have a link to it. So every time you send an email, there's a link to your newsletter or email list there for people to opt in. And they already let you in, and they can always unsubscribe. And the other part too is you're never going to feel spammy to the right audience. I remember getting my first unsubscribe, and I actually felt very offended by it. I was like, how dare they? But it was like, they weren't my audience. They were someone who's a senior level copywriter, working for himself for 15 years. And yes, like we're colleagues, but he's not the person I'm selling to. He doesn't need my services. So it's totally understandable that he would unsubscribe because I'm not offering the value that that he wants or needs. And that's okay. I'm not meant to be everything to everyone. I'm meant to be certain things to a very specific group of people. And that's the group of people I write my email list to. And I've gotten hundreds of unsubscribes since then. And it's not a big deal because I want an engaged list. And so, yeah, this goes back to the reframe 3 I just said. If a subscriber is no longer interested in what you have to say, again, it's okay. They unsubscribe, and then you're not spamming them because they unsubscribe. So, wrapping up, I cannot believe I finished this on time. I'm very impressed with myself. I'm curious to know, actually, you already talked about the preconceived notions you had about email marketing, but I'd love to know how you feel differently now about email marketing that we've had this little conversation. And I can take on a few questions at this point as well. Go ahead and you can unmute or type in the chat. Christine says, I feel less spammy. Good. Reframing about, thank you, David. I appreciate that. He says, excellent information, has me reframing about email lists and their value. Yeah, when it's done right, it can be done real well and people appreciate it. Change your mindset. Oh, yay. Thank you. I love all this. Yay. An active chat. I love it. My takeaway is that you just have to change your mindset. You are providing information for people who have asked for it. Yes, absolutely that. That is it. Speaking of which, so there was my landing page I just gave to you, but there's also this other one here that a lot of people find helpful. It's called the first 5 emails to send. Again, this is geared towards a specific audience. It's a little more geared towards online service providers, coaches, creatives, but if you're not that, there's still value in this. It's called the Just Send It Email Toolkit. It's the first 5 emails to send to your subscribers. I also have a quick little before you send checklist to make sure that you're writing an email or sending an email that is as optimized as possible for you as you start out. So I will leave that there. Let me see if I have that link too, because I can put the link in the chat if that's easier. I just have to find the landing page for it. Give me one moment. I'll read some more chat things here. I needed someone to make me write down 3 email ideas. Yes, Evie. That is so true. Sometimes we just need someone to tell us what to do, even if we know we have to do it. I use ChatGPT sometimes to tell me to do things. I have a CEO chat GPT, and I'll be like, here's what I need to do. Think like a CEO. Tell me what to do first. Because I get decision paralysis, don't we all? Especially if we're solo entrepreneurs or small business owners who have a small team. It's easy to get distracted. Ba-bum-bum. Oh, good. Oh, yay. Everyone seems to have. I can't even keep up with all the chat now. Amazing. Okay, let me put in the chat the first five emails landing page here. I have a lot of free resources. I didn't want to overwhelm anyone with all my free resources because they're all connected to an email sequence. And so then you'd be getting a lot of emails from me. And again, I don't want to be spammy, but I think this one's a really good one to start for people. Um, and if you are interested in working with me further, I do have A to Z email marketing services, I call it. I can help you brainstorm and create your lead magnet. And the lead magnet is like that free resource that brings people in to your list. I can help you create a welcome sequence strategy and write your email copy and your brand voice. I can help you set up and automate the emails if you are freaked out by the tech side. I am capable of doing that. It's more of a secondary or even third type thing I do, but I can do it. If it's going to get you to start your email list, I will do it for you. Okay. I will be your number one biggest cheerleader. I think this is all really important stuff to get going for your business. And once you have it set up, once you have these automations set up, it just runs in the background. You don't have to do much, which is a beautiful thing. So, I can't remember what that QR code is. It goes to. It might be my Calendly. Yeah, it's my Calendly link. So you can set up a time. I think it's 20 or 30 minutes. We can talk things out. Feel free. Um, I also promised my other contact information. I am most active out of all the socials, I'm most active on Instagram. I'm also at my silliest over there. Yes, it's my business account, but I am human first. I like to be pretty not like super personal, but I like to be silly. I like to be vulnerable. I like to share my strategies. I like to really pull back the curtain and go behind the scenes on what's working for my business and what's not right now. So Instagram is where to follow me, where I'm most active. I am on LinkedIn, and I do have a Facebook, but I'm hardly on that. So that's about it. Oh, and my website, rj-creative.com. And did I do 11 o'clock? Can I just like, yeah, I did it. Hooray. As you can see, well, actually, you can't see. I have about 40 more slides, but I made sure to just compact this into one hour. So thank you. Yeah, I guess that's it. Are there any questions before we wrap up? Or I don't know if Melissa or Mohammed want to close things down.
No, if we don't have any questions, oh, can you go back to the QR code?
Oh yeah. Which one? I have my yeah, that's my Calendly link, or I can go to the first five. I should put all the QR codes in one spot, but
No, that's the right one.
okay. Oh, you know what? Before we go, what I would love, if it's okay, could I post put a link in a feedback form too, so I can get feedback on the presentation, what I can do better, what people liked?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay. Let me do that. If I can find it. Okay, oh. And are there any questions? There's the chat's a lot. I haven't been able to read through the entire chat. Are there any questions? Anyone wants to just ask and go off mute and or
There is a question, Melissa, will there be future classes to expand this subject far further?
I mean, if you'll have me, I can come back. It's up to you.
No, we'll definitely look into it. I don't The SBDC is the one who normally schedules for first Wednesday, but if this is a very popular topic, the library themselves we could do our own. We could also host this particular topic.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a conversation we could have later, Rachel, as well,
Yeah, of
to see what
course.
we can do more about it too.
Yeah, and if you get on my email list, I have other trainings that I do here and there. I've got Serendipity Labs. I'm doing an in-person training on December, I don't know, go on my email list. I can't remember, but it's about writing the first 5 emails to your list. So it's actually more of like a hands-on 2-hour workshop. It's in person at Serendipity Labs. That's a co-working space downtown. I think space is pretty limited, like 8 or 9 people. So that's something coming up, and I offer things like in different places. So yeah, if you get on my email list, and I'm always happy to talk and just talk things out with you. Like I said, feel free to book a call with me. And then let me just plug in my feedback form. I would just love for anyone who can fill it out. I think there's a typically paid resource that's free if you fill it out. So little incentive for you. Oh, need access. Arr, arr. Okay, hold on. Why? Let me restricted. Okay, anyone with link. Now try it. Okay, try it now. I'm sorry. Okay, it works. Great. Okay. I'm just reading through all of the chat. Mm, I'm taking a
Okay.
few screenshots. Yeah, are we all
I
set?
think we're all set. I mean, I'll leave the Zoom going a little bit more if people need the link, but
Sure.
well, I'll officially end the recording. So that's the end of our program. I would like to thank Rachel for speaking with us. This has been
Yeah.
very enlightening and probably the most feedback or like participation I've had in a presentation in a long time.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Um,
talking about.
so if anybody, this recording will be posted on YouTube. So if you want to rewatch it, I'll be getting a link to it once it gets uploaded. So that could be either later this week or next week. And we'll also email all the registered participants a copy of the presentation slides. So if Rachel could send that to me,
Yes, adding that to
um,
my to-do list
or
right
send
now.
it to Fatin and he'll send it to me. Um,
Amazing. Thank you.
but um, but okay, yeah. So thank you, Rachel and Fatin, and
Yeah,
I
thank you,
hope you
Rachel, as
all.
well, and thanks, Melissa, for hosting it as well. So, yeah, hope everyone has a happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And yeah, feel free to, like I said, reach out, connect on all the things. And I want to
Melissa,
get